I am in the quest of finding myself, understanding what I'm about. For sometimes I feel like I am trapped in what I'm not. Maybe I get lost in what I'm trying to be. I am afraid of what I will unleash about me as I dig up. What if what I dig up is not what I want for myself? Fear of the unknown is what I'm experiencing. Who am I? I want to fly, I want to scream, I want to dance. Yet all of this is covered by shyness. Lack of self-esteem and lack of confidence are singing instead. I wish things could be the way they are supposed to be, or the way I would like them to be. I am seriously confused or just scared. Somebody please help.
I was born in Bloemfontein at the location La Pelindaba. Born in the 80s. I'm the second born. I've got a brother, I've got a sister, I've got my mom, and my dad passed away a long time ago. So
ya bonolo motho e re ha se a o fihletse hantle le boete bo eme e ka moya o batang ha monate o qeta ho feta
ba o tsebang ba re wena o tlohadi se tshwara thipa ka bahaleng thekala bana ba hae e re wena ha o se o fihlile hantle tshaba sethole se o mamela
ya lerato motho a tswalwang le a hetswe ka hara hae mme a le potapotisi setjhabeng ba mo potapotileng ba le utlo e be dipaki
Hoba yena o motle ebile o matla a ime ngwana dikgwedi ya mobelehe ya phetse ya mohudisi hore be motho ka hare ho batho ya tswelele tletseng besela nnete lona le tletseng lerato le bohlale e re ngwana ha hola o bolle sa le metsi hoba ha ikotlaletse e ka nna ya mothatafalla ke re o kopanya le lapa le ha hone hona le dikgohlano.
Nthabiseng o na le velte hela jalo mo bonyane ba gagwe ha qala a rata bontle e ka teng motho e tla reng o tla modlela mare itse ha qala go ba bo 5 years ya starta ya nong e ba ngwana o thotseng a tsenya boshula e ka reng ngwana o iketeng wa kula kapa e keteng ngwana o iketeng ha tshwarwa gantle.
She was a bit quiet. One can actually say maybe she was more like an introvert.
Nthabiseng o ngata o bua le mong ene mo ha bua le mong ngata mo le mong te o ngata o itsheba spilling ka toilet and then a bua le spili
Ha o ka bula monyako ha o tsena ka toilet o eme yana o itshebile mo spili ha ke le ka mo o ka mo kitchen ha ke tlhaga ntse bua le manga ya ntse ke sa buile motho ntse ke bina ya nna ya ba ntwe mare gole be ke bolemoga fa motho a siana.
I was a happy child most of the time. Weird in most people's eyes, but me personally, I knew myself as well and normal.
O kene ka mo Moemedi high school. Jo a change motho a thotse a itse tu.
That's when really she was quiet, mostly reading.
I would go outside and communicate with the stars, especially when there's a moon outside, the full moon. I would just stand outside on my own and I would just talk to the stars. I would visualize myself probably as being one of those stars, you know, or I would have conversations where I actually feel like the stars are communicating back at me. Like I would create even lines for the very same stars. I always had just an imaginative type of character, you know. It was more of now me releasing those deepest thoughts. It was just not about me saying them anymore, but I would put them down. So writing really became, you know, that one friend that will never judge you, that when you even tell your secrets, they will never, you know, tell them to anyone. They will never laugh at you. They would just be a loyal friend to you. I had so much to say, but I did not have anyone to share it with. It was easier for me to actually just hoy everything down on the paper. I went to the university and I was studying accounting at the time. I just knew, Gucci, this is not where I want to be. And the writing still continues at the time, you know, until somebody randomly passing my house and they greeted looking for directions, and I was speaking with that guy. His name was Bareng Dichava. At some point during the conversation, he was telling me that he's a writer and he has published a few books. And I was like, oh, I also have a book that I write things on. And he's like, really, can I see it? And then I went in the house, brought the book, and he browsed through it for, not even for long, but I think just after maybe 5 chapters or so, 5 pages, he was like, oh, so you're a poet? It's like, yeah, really? Me, poet? Wow. So finally, somebody had defined me. You've got the manuscript, you've got this beautiful story that you want to share, but taking it out there takes out so much out of you, which is basically out of your comfort zone even.
Once you're published, especially as a self-publisher, there are challenges really. One of the challenges, of course, is you have to spend your money to produce your books.
I chose the self-publication route because, one, there's so much red tape and so much bureaucracy in terms of getting traditional publishers out there.
But now the biggest problem would be marketing, because now you have to make sure that your books move from your hand to other people's hands. Currently, our people are not much of readers.
If the books are not moving, it's on you. If the books are just on the shelves and they are not selling, it's on you. You know, so you need a lot of support.
As far as I can remember, we did about 7 print runs of her first book, which was Rooted from the Heart. The print runs were about 100 copies each, so that's about 700 books. And for her latest book, which is Free State of Mind, so far we've done about 500 copies of that book. Judging from the amount of reprints that we've done for her books, and also the amount of units and the feedback that we've been getting from people, she's definitely doing very well, because you get a lot of people that come in and want to do indie publishing, but they will come in and will never come back. She keeps returning, and with the content of her books and the feedback and people that are loving it, definitely one of our most valued clients.
I come from a school of thought that says people don't describe themselves, but rather by those that are around them. I decided to experiment and ask people that I work with, that I met in moments, time, in different spaces, to say who is Jah Rose to them.
God has brought somebody like Jah Rose. I never thought I'll meet such a child.
Jah Rose is the seed of a rose plant. She's more of a, not a poet, she's a sister to me.
She was not Jah Rose, Nakimitzika Nthabiseng.
Jah Rose to me is a concrete queen.
A friend.
Legends were really born in her favor.
God has brought somebody like Jah Rose.
She recited a poem that made me fall deep in love with poetry. They made it possible for me to show myself out there as a poet, to be sure of what I'm doing. This is poetry.
Akathatha mhlambe isimo asuka kusona ngaleso sikhathi, but ubuka isimo somunye umuntu asuke edlula kusona, maqeda sithathe in and put it in a creative
tunnel and begin to jot something which becomes a beautiful poem.
Nthabiseng Rose.
It is always great to meet people who said you have inspired them. And there's this one writer in particular, Nthabiseng. Nthabiseng is basically an overall for me because he was a teacher, he was a lecturer, he's an author, he's now heading the Department of Arts and Culture under Language Services. To meet somebody like that and to spend time with them and drink from that quest, I think that would be lovely. And invite them to my shows and, you know, begin to have that interaction that this is what I am now, this is where I am now, and this is where you are. Probably you have been where I'm here now, but I haven't been where you are, so I want to travel the journey with you. Nthabiseng Jah Rose Jafta. I am a poet and a writer. Now I'm very much pleased and honored to finally meet you.
You are on the right path because I've read your books. What makes you a good writer is because you are a good reader. You've read widely. Unless you read widely, you'll not be able to read other people's works. It is the manner in which you pour out your emotions. You are very good in selecting the subjects that you want to talk about, especially because you look at nature, but you also look at the emotions, you look at the inner self, and then project it to the outer self and include the other people from outside. Poetry is growing, not only in our province, but I think in our country.
So, as you know, that I'm not just a writer and an author, but I am also a performer. And tomorrow we have an event that we are doing where I would like to invite you to actually come and see us do our thing. Would it be appropriate, and would you be available to do so?
Sleeves roll up, backpackers where you at? We defense are calling. We are about to trouble the Free State way. Past Golden Gates, 10 months off by caves into hiding places. Shower at the Mudole waterfalls. We are about to enjoy the air bath of the people of the Little Rocky Native Range. Dine and wine the Basotho way. History still rich. Our cultural village navigated from Harib, Mangawu, Siziletabi, Tabo, to the left, then short right, to the states meant to be free. Join us.
From the city of roses, so ya puta di chaba, taba di matlo di chaba, te di chaba gabo chaba. From Gugu moye woya halon la manso, pare hopo la bati, more chabo la melody.